All right. All right. Welcome to AES, everyone, on the Soundtoys booth. My name is Mitch Thomas. I'm with Soundtoys, and thus why I am heavily branded. I say that every time. My joke's getting old. Anyway, we have this gentleman here. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hi, Mitch. Ooh, look at that. I'm Scott. I am from the Crystal Method.
Crystal Method, cool.
It's my first AES. It's like so much closer than NAMM, and so much smaller.
But it's focused.
Yes, and it's really easy to find a place that serves good alcohol, not too far from El Compadre is right.
Oh wait, like right here.
And look at that.
We can reach it.
Just think it, and it shows up.
Awesome. So Crystal Method, obviously, that you guys have done a few things over the years. How many?
We have. Yeah.
You've done a few things. Some things you can mention, some things you probably can't.
Exactly.
And you're doing other productions now as well, and remixes, or?
Yeah. We just.
You've always done remixes, though, right?
Yeah, we've been kind of choosy. If it's not a great song, then it's really not a lot of fun to try to. Using that same old polish the turd thing, but because if you're going to do a remix, you want to. You don't want to make it sound like you've just stuck a couple bits and pieces of the original into one of our tracks,
right?
Because that's great. Why would we write a whole song for a completely different song just to and then give it back to someone? So we like to just take what's there and kind of reshape it. So we've done it's just coming out. We did a remix for Shepard Fairey's project Noise, which is along with Z Trip and. Many different people contributed to the EP of the remixes. It's really cool, and if you go to his, I think online you can find it, the vinyl with his artwork, and it's really gorgeous. So, and then I did a remix of an artist Gem with her new single Beechwood Canyon. Again, one of these things where the song was just a beautiful song, slow halftime kind of. Angelic, fairy, sort of cocktail twins-esque in a way.
Nice.
And then
I
I
know
just
that
decided,
reference.
yes, and then, yeah, exactly. Thank you. And then I just reshaping that and having fun with that. So Ken and I have been. Our relationship with Soundtoys and even before with Wave Mechanics, goes back so many years.
Many years. I remember we've talked many times over the years.
Yes, and you had that crystallizer. So it's like it was like we felt like it was our own plug-in in a way. Like, well, look at that.
and I actually tried to get them to update it, add a couple of things, and call it Crystal Method. But then we were afraid you'd sue us, and
for the 10-year anniversary, we can do that.
Yeah, we'll do that for sure.
Do something special like that.
So, like you said, you've been a long time Soundtoys user. So, what's the favorite stuff? Crystallizer, I guess, and
definitely the Decapitator is.
I can't imagine you liking that plugin.
It's like you had all these like amazing, intricate, beautiful, pretty little butterfly things over here with the other ones with Crystallizer and the Sound Blender and then you bring in the big tough guy that really
destroys it all.
Yeah, no, it's great. It
kills all the butterflies. Right?
Yeah. But it's a really great. I love it because it's just such a big full sound. It really grabs a hold of the harmonics and things, whether it be the kick or synth or whatever, and just really makes the sound just much bigger. Obviously, much more aggressive, but then it's just such a full sound. Even if you're going to just use the top end of it, you still have all this nice, sparkle from the effect, which is a really, because I think that over the years, you can electrify anything, but to be able to do it in a musical way and be able to have that sort of like the thing, like a big muff, you can kind of play with it by either how hard you were hitting it or the tone, and you can shape it a little bit more, and because it had a little bit of life to it. And to me, like the Capitator reminds me of just like a futuristic, a big muff, but it has all the different layers of it, the different elements that really kind of take it to not just the coloring, but as also we use it just to kind of just give, a little aggression, just to get that little bit more attack, because you really, that's another part of it that really was exciting for us, was that you wanted it to just sort of take the head off.
Exactly, and thus the
one
name.
of the best names too ever,
Thus the
Capitator.
name, yeah.
That was amazing.
So and that brings another question. So there's a couple of different camps with the Capitator. There's people who never turn it past 1. There's people who never don't hit the punish button. So it's either light or destroyed. You fall into 1, 2, and 3.
I love hitting I love pushing it. I love it because it handles. It does some weird things when you hit it the right way, because it is meant to, bend quite a bit, and it can be a bit too much. But one of the things that we learned was we had, on Vegas, we had this track at the beginning the sound at the beginning of our track "Keep Up Alive," which was this really kind of aggressive. Sounded like it was a synth, obviously, but it had that energy of a guitar, but it was thin and it had that attack. And we used Juno 106, and then sent that to a Big Muff, and then sent that to this old Maestro of rhythm and tone, rhythm and sound. This little it was meant to for a guitarist to be able to play a bongo while he was picking. I'm not sure why that was ever something that anybody wanted to do, but at the other end of it, it had a bass tone, so it would. This is a '60s box, so I mean, the thought that it is actually triggering it in a sloppy way, the sounds in it, but it also had a wah, and it just had a really thin distortion. You just tell it was really narrow. It's because it was really meant for more of a kind of a somebody jangling on an electric guitar. Nothing too wide or anything. So, but just having all that girth and then shoving it in, having it just sort of been cut off, you still had all that energy from the bottom.
From what it was,
because it was just, that's the kind of thing it didn't get rid of. It was just coloring it, and it was leaving all that in. And I think that the Capitator has that energy where it's enhancing and dealing with a lot of the coloring and the girth of something. But you can also then just take it and make it thin, or take the top off of it or whatever. But you still have a really warm and aggressive sound left over.
Cool. Yeah, we love stories like that. Hearing about all the gear that you had used to get a particular sound, and all the effort you put into a particular sound, whether it's whether it's a simple sound or a complex sound, and you're going, no, we've got to run it through 9 different things and put it to the track. I love that, because we've got a huge collection of gear at our place too. So gear's super important. Okay, so the Capitator's a favorite. Any others that Echo Boy seems?
Yeah, Echo Boy has been one we've used for a long time. We have an Echoplex in one of the original ones, and it's dirty sounding. I can only imagine all the different things that have been on that tape. Like go in and get some sort of ghost scientist to reveal all the different layers of what's been recorded on that tape over the years.
Start cloning things up.
Yes, figure it out. But yeah, so we love that. But again, it's hard to tame sometimes, and hard to especially if you're trying to do something subtle, you have that. So, Echo Boy was just right away, just immediately one of the things that we just always had a lot of fun with, because there's also I love how you're not just doing one type of delay in there. You have all of the roll-in stuff, and we have an old Ibanez, like a tape delay or analog delay, one that's 2 rack mount, but it has some of the
AD202.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we use that.
Gear geek.
Yeah, but again, there's all these different options and different boxes out there. You really got in and spent a lot of time on each one, and then you're able to sort of take elements from each of them and use them in other parts of it. So that was always a lot of fun for us. Yeah.
So I don't know. We haven't talked about this or not. So you use any of the kind of effecty, the rhythm stuff that's like Filter Freak, Phase Mistress, Tremolator, and any of those rhythmic things that we've got?
Oh going? Yeah. Well, Filter Freak, is another one we've used for years. It's again has that. musicality to it. All the LFO stuff. You're one of the first ones that I think that really kind of, at least because we go way back. But
way back.
But I mean, that's for it was
I
like
didn't
one
mean
of
anything
the,
by that.
yes, but it was again one of the. It wasn't just a filter. It was a living, breathing thing. You had all this energy that was put into rhythmically making it interesting, and you had the two different versions where you could do one was a little bit less and. But yeah, I love. Yeah, Filter Freak is great, and the tremolo. We don't really use a lot of tremolo, but I know that we've pulled it up before, and it's a beautiful sounding plugin for sure.
Cool.
And I like how you've gone forward with the rack.
Yeah,
because that's really a lot of fun as well.
Well, you mentioned the previous the legacy plugins, the Time Blender, Sound Blender thing. So the rack is really, you see where that's going.
Yeah.
Now that's the idea behind the rack coming out, is to get to the point where we have multi effects again, and you can create your own, build your own, shape them, and save all that stuff. So
see, that's the kind of excitement you want from your plugin designer crew, the
I
family.
Freaking love Soundtoys. But I don't even have to be here. He's selling it all right here. So it's living, breathing, analog, extra big, powerful. He said all those words. It's awesome. It's
like having a Benihana chef come in and whack up your synthesizer part or something. I don't know. It's not like that, but it could be if you.
That's the next album title.
If you have a couple drinks.
Whack up synthesizer. Well, I'll ask you a tough one. This is a tough one. So, a moment on one of the tunes, remix or Crystal Method or whatever, where you remember Soundtoys making the difference. Just like a sound or a vocal, or like, wow, this breakdown only worked because we took Crystallizer and flipped all that. It's tough, I know.
No, one of the things that
because you do a lot of stuff, I know.
One of the things that came to mind right away was. My mate Justin and I have a side thing where we do remixes for different projects, and it's called Bandwidth. And we did a Crystal Castles remix. This is just kind of for fun because we both are in bands that take a long time making music. So we thought, what if we just get together and try to do a remix in a weekend? So let's just do that. So we had a lot of fun with that, and one of the ones that one of the experiences we had was we had Crystal Castle's vocal, I think it was, and I was playing around with Echo Boy,
okay.
And and I did something where it just went into the feedback. And oh my God, it was just like, I was like, that's how we're going to end it. That's how we're going to end it. It's going to get to, because we're like, how are we going to figure this ending out? And all of a sudden it's just like, like, yes, that's how we're going to end it. Of course, it was probably also had quite a few drinks in us at the point, but it was, and then of course, so Justin was like, yeah, it's so great. And then I had to go in and I had to put these little offshot beats into it to make it seem like it was going to come back. But it was just. It was the most unruly, sort of caged, dragon sort of sound. It was a great, one of those great feedback things that just magic on the spot.
I'm stealing that as a preset name, Caged Dragon. Totally stealing that. Cool. Well, I mean, that's awesome. Like I said, you've been a long time user, so you know the stuff. You've used it on tons of stuff, and we really appreciate you using our stuff, supporting us that way, and taking your time out to come down here for your first AES and hang out and chat underneath our banner.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks
and thank you for making really cool shit.
Yeah. And all right. Thanks, everyone.